What's up, you guys? Welcome back to Spoiling Movies. This will be the final Under the Green Hood edition. I am so happy you guys are here with me. Don't worry, the movie reviews are not going to stop, but the Green Hood will be retired. This week's movie is Mission Impossible Fallout. As per usual, I am going to be telling you everything that happens in the movie that I find notable, and I'm going to spoil it. The movie starts with Ethan Hunt, Tom Cruise's character, in some obvious nightmare situation where a guy is marrying him to his wife, but it's a dude from a previous movie, the guy with the creepy voice. We all knew he was a bad guy from the trailers. He says some fucked up shit like, Ethan's all fucked up and do you take him even though he's a liar and son of a bitch. And then a big ass nuclear explosion thing goes off in the background and they fucking fade into fucking skeletons. And he wakes up because it's an obvious nightmare. And some guy comes to the door and he's got a package for him. The package was a little recording device thing inside of a book. And he listens to it. It's another one of his secret, messages that will self-destruct. And it says, Solomon guy still has people in the world, and they're called the Apostles, and they're still trying to get bombs. They're gonna set off fucking nuclear bombs and shit. So they decide to go to a weird meeting location to get the plutonium for the bombs before Solomon is able to. So Luther Ving Rhames, Benji Simon Pegg, are trying to help him out during this little back and forth with the people he's buying the shit from. Just when they're about to make the exchange, the lights go out, somebody hijacks some shit, and they're not able to, give the money to the guys to get the plutonium. And one of them takes Luther hostage, and Tom Cruise basically has to choose between letting his friend die or giving up the plutonium. And so he shoots Luther, but luckily he's wearing a vest, and then a minute later they're like, where's the plutonium? The bad guys ran off. And they're like, the plutonium's gone. While Tom Cruise, Ethan, was trying to save his buddy, one of those other dudes, at least Simon Pegg, should have, been paying attention to where the goddamn plutonium was. It was in a briefcase near the car, and they just weren't even looking at it. They go to a hospital where they meet the guy that created the bombs, and they're watching on the news. All the bombs have gone off. Jerusalem and Mecca and Rome. The bombs have gone off in a bunch of big religious places, and they tell the dude, we'll read your weird manifesto thing of, why these things happened, live on the news if you give us the passcode to, figure out the whatever it was. So Ethan gives the word on the phone to somebody, go ahead and just read that weird thing that he did. So they read it on the news, and as it's happening, the guy's like, okay, fine, I'll give you the code since you did what I asked, and he's all happy that he's an asshole. And as soon as they get the passcode and, check it out, they're like, it's legit. And then all the walls just fall down and you realize it's all been a hoax. They just got the passcode. The dude thought he had been unconscious for weeks, but really it's only been a few hours. So they got the passcode from him to try and figure out the shit. They fucking double-crossed him and I loved that shit. And that's when it starts. Da-da-da, da-da-da. You see the fucking wire? Da-da-da. Da-da, ba 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 ba, da-da-da, 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 motherfucker. The IMF and the CIA apparently are not working together well. Sloane, I guess is her name, she says, I can't trust you, Ethan, to just do this by yourself. So you have to take Henry Cavill with you because that's my dude. And he's gonna watch you, that way you don't do shit that's outside of our interests. So Cavill and Ethan have to skydive through a thunderstorm down into where the people are that they need. Cavill gets hit by lightning, and Tom Cruise, Ethan just has to float over to him and try and fix his air tube, and he sets off his parachute, and then Ethan sets off his chute way too late and smashes into the building, and somehow Cavill is awake and right in the place he needs to be. It lands just perfectly. They go down into this big lavish party thing, and they're tracking a dude through a tracker thing on their phones. They follow dude into a restroom. Henry Cavill takes a laptop and smashes the guy in the face and knocks him out. And they're like, how are we supposed to scan his face and be that dude if you just broke the computer that's supposed to scan his face? The guy wakes up, and then they get into a fight. There's a cool restroom fight scene, and then a lady shows up. I guess she was from previous movies or something. Lady shoots the dude in the face, and they're like, what the hell? We actually needed his face so that I can make a mask and look like him. Ethan is like, I just have to hope that they've never actually met this guy and just pretend. And Lady is working with a different organization or something, and she won't tell Ethan what's going on. And then they meet the White Widow, that's this character that is like in between people that have the plutonium and the people with money, and he's pretending to be a dude to get the fucking shit or something. So while they're like trying to leave, a bunch of people come at him with knives. Fucking, she's got a knife and Lady has a knife, and they're all like protecting each other from these dudes with knives because everybody wants to kill everybody, and they all have motives, and they're all working for somebody else. That's Mission Impossible, like all of them. White Widow Lady has one of the plutonium balls, and the only way that they're going to get the other ones is if Ethan gets Solomon Lane, trades his life for the plutonium. And I guess Solomon Lane is a guy that knows all the secrets of MI6, and that's why everybody wants him, because he's got, like, information and shit that will ruin everybody's government. Instead of doing the plan that the other people were suggesting that they do, Ethan and his and Cavill like drive a van into the side of the truck that has Solomon in it. It goes into a lake, and like he starts drowning, but he gets saved by somebody. Turns out it's Benji and fucking Luther. Then there's a couple vehicle switches. Cavill and Ethan end up on some motorbikes, and they're being chased. So there's really cool chase scene. Looks awesome, looks amazing, and I know that Tom Cruise did a bunch of this himself, or all of his own stunts or whatever, and he's a goddamn maniac. He ends up running into a car, which I can't believe he didn't do sooner, and he goes fucking tripping, falling, people are on his ass. He jumps down into a sewer, manages to land exactly where the boat with Luther and Benji are with Solomon, and Lady, that I knew was Lady, tries to snipe them from a bridge while they're driving, but she's definitely trying to kill Solomon. They get Solomon to a weird underground place where they meet Alec Baldwin. Solomon starts talking about your pathetic morality. This is all your fault, Ethan, and you're going to pay. It's going to be on your head when all of this falls down, trying to break down society. They pull the fucking tracker thing out of his neck, and they put it in a little drone that they send out, so they're following something else. When Ethan meets back up with White Widow Lady, she's like, I know that person is like killed some of my dudes, and now part of the deal is you have to bring her to me, or else you're not gonna get shit. So Ethan and Lady meet behind some trees in some place, learn that she's working with somebody else for the other government for the thing, and he's like, oh, but you care about me, that's why you didn't kill me, and the government and spies and stuff. And I was like, yes, I know of spies. Government things, you say? I've heard of such things. Wait, what? Ethan decides that Benji is going to use a mask that looks like Solomon so they can pretend that he's them and then make the trade and try not to let Benji get killed. Cavill and Solomon have a moment where they talk together, and Cavill is basically saying, I'm working with you and we're supposed to do this. They're doing all that. Why won't you let me go do something about it? And he's like, it's because I want revenge on Ethan. I want him to feel the pain while everybody else dies and shit. Turns out Benji in the mask was the Solomon that Cavill was confessing everything to. So they all know. Alec Baldwin shows back up and is like, fucking like, oh, you took the gun from me? That wasn't even the real gun. I got the real gun right here.
Fool me once.
Has been double-crossed. They get double-crossed again by...
Shame on you.
And while Sloan Lady's men are like, nah, this is our thing now, they get double-crossed again.
If fool me, we can't get fooled again.
And we're in that squad that was supposed to be them, so they double-crossed, triple-crossed, quadruple-crossed them.
Fool again.
Luther had put a tracking device into Henry Cavill's neck, and so now they're tracking him. And during that tracking process, Tom Cruise Ethan has to run across many, many buildings and make a couple of big jumps, and then a jump out of a window down into a thing. But eventually finally catches up, and he like, Cavill's going up on an elevator, and he grabs like the bottom of the elevator, and he's like, eh. Cavill says, if you want this to go smoothly, you better just fucking let me go and like just let it happen. I know where your ex-wife is, and I'm her keeper, and if you don't do what we're saying, I'm gonna fucking make sure she dies. By the time Ethan gets up to the top of the building. Cavill and Solomon are getting away in the chopper. Our dudes realize that they can't disarm one of the bombs without the other two going off. Benji figures out that they have to let the countdown start for the bombs before they can even disarm it. But they need the detonator piece, and everybody has to snip the right cord at the right time. So they track them to a little medical camp. They find out that Ethan's ex-wife is actually there working, and that was like part of Bad Dude's plan. He wanted to make sure they were all there, and his wife was there when the whole thing fucking happens. Cavill gets on a helicopter with the detonator, and Ethan's got to figure out a way to get up there. So Ethan sees one of the helicopters taking off, grabs onto a rope that's underneath it, and it's carrying some shit underneath it. And he's fucking climbing up, trying to get into the helicopter to chase fucking Cavill. And he like slides down the rope. It's a big cool scene. And he keeps climbing back up the rope. And eventually he gets up into the helicopter. And the guy's trying to fight him off. Fucking shoots the pilot, starts going, and then he grabs control of it. There's a lot of times in this movie when they're like, well, what are you gonna do? Like, how are you gonna do this, Tom Cruise, Ethan? And he's like, I'll figure it out. That happens a lot in this movie. It's just, I'll figure it out. Well, God, I guess you will. I mean, we've been through a bunch of movies where impossible things have happened, and you always figured it out. Regardless of it being impossible to figure out. You fucking nailed it. So Tom Cruise has the helicopter chasing behind the other dude. He's able to get that chopper above Henry Cavill's one and, like, drop the payload, like, right in front of him, but it misses. He wanted it to hit the thing, but it misses, and they fucking dodge. And then Henry Cavill grabs a giant gun out of the back of the helicopter, and he's like, in the helicopter. Luckily, Ethan will figure it out. He's figuring it out right now. Lady finds the cabin where Solomon is. She finds the bomb, but Solomon, like, fucking grabs her, knocks her out, ties her up and shit. I was wondering why he put all the bombs so close to each other. There's 3 bombs, and he put them all in one spot. And I think they said something about it's going to disrupt all of the natural resources of the water or something. Give everybody fucking smallpox or something. Benji comes to save Lady, and she's like, like trying to warn him. But Solomon fucking fights the dude, and he's got fucking moves, like secret moves. Fucking gets him. Fucking, like, gets him with a rope and, like, fucking start choking the shit out of him, puts him up, like, hangs him. There's, like, an explosion in Ethan's helicopter, so it starts, like, going down, and he's like, not now, I'm so close. Fucking, somehow, his broken helicopter is able to whoosh up, ram into the other helicopter. Lady gets free from her shit, but she starts fighting Solomon, dude, like, they're on equal fucking footing. Benji is still, like, kind of hanging in the background. He's got his feet on like a crate. When the 2 helicopters collided, Ethan was just rolling down a hill, almost to the edge of a cliff. Not quite. But then the other, Henry Cavill's helicopter, rolls down towards him, knocks them both off, and they kind of slide down the mountain a little bit, but it's like attached to a hook. So there's this weird vertical fucking moment where he's like, where you son of a bitch, where? And they're just hanging, trying to, like, go down through the shit. During the fight with Solomon, Lady is able to throw a broken glass to Benji so he can start cutting the rope while they're having their fight. But, like, he's almost through it and he starts passing out, and she's got Solomon on the ground and she's choking him out. But she notices that, like, Benji's fucking, he's about to die. Luckily, they both pass out at the same time, where she's able to actually get up there and slice the rope to save Benji. During one of the hanging rope scenes, that vertical shit with Ethan and Henry Cavill, Cavill's like, why won't you just die? I was like, that is so movie trope. That's so trope. Hanging by a rope, doing a fucking trope. And then, like, the helicopters they keep trying to fall, and there's, like, a hook, and the hook keeps, like, breaking and then catching onto something else. Then Ethan and Cavill are all fucked up, but they're on the edge of a cliff on some fucking rock somewhere, and they're able to have a nice showdown where they're also kind of fucked up. And the detonator's right there. Everybody else is working to do their bomb thing and snip the wires at the right time, but they gotta, like, fight for the detonator. It's right behind them. While Ethan and Cavill are on the side of a cliff, just barely hanging on, Ethan yanks the rope, comes down, the hook goes right into Cavill's face, takes him down into the helicopter explosion. And everybody's like, we have no communication from Ethan, we gotta cut the wires right now or it's gonna be the last moment. And they're like, we just gotta trust it. So everybody just cuts the wires at the right moment. And then I said, fuck your suspension of disbelief. You can't just have everybody do that one thing at a miraculous moment and have it make sense. But they did. It all fucking worked out. Even without communicating with each other, they all just magically were able to do the thing at the right moment. And when Luther finds out about it, that it all worked out with Ethan, it's like, my man. And I was like, I feel like this is a weird connection with the fucking DC universe right now. Aquaman said, my man. Henry Cavill is Superman in the DC universe. Tom Cruise is basically Superman in this movie. And Henry Cavill is not Superman in this movie. And yet, his mustache ruined Justice League. Was keeping the mustache worth making Justice League a little bit weirder? I say no. I say it wasn't worth it. Henry Cavill could have been cool enough. Just fucking baby face. Just like, you don't need a... Why is the mustache so important? That adds nothing to the character.
It's a fucking conspiracy.
Ethan and his ex-wife talk, and she's like, oh, I'm here and having a good life because I know you're out there, you know, being a Superman. Being an Ethan Hunt. And the only way that everything is okay is because you can keep doing miraculous things and I'll just be here living my life or whatever. This movie should have been called Courageous Tom, aka Mr. fucking Lucky Pants. He has the mutant ability of Domino from Deadpool. He has luck. Everything works in his favor, and that's why he's able to just say, it'll probably work out, or I'll figure it out, or whatever. Because it always will, and it always did. What are they trying to say? Is he fucking God? Is he actually Superman? Tom Cruise should have been Superman? I was confused once again because of all the espionage, governments working against other organizations, groups against groups, and this and that, and I don't like to follow all that stuff. It's hard for my fucking brain. Too many lucky coincidences, like being able to get through this and that, and like things that should have killed you don't. All the acting was fantastic. The music was really, really good. The camera work was fucking great. Everything looked beautiful. The places that they were shooting things, everything looked great. My only little gripe is that, like, it's basically a miracle man. Apparently Ethan Hunt is just unstoppable, and God loves him? Thank you guys for watching. I hope to see you next time. The Green Hood will not be gone. It will forever live with us and our hearts, but it must be retired. Now let me make sure the Green Hood gets the fucking respect it deserves. You've served me well, old friend. You will always be here, watching over us. And so the Green Hood goes where all good hoods go, in a corner of my room to make sure that I continue forever making movie reviews.